We are going to know about information about Thailand, Vietnam and Cambodia. These countries are too close, and I know a lot of things about these countries. Especially if I talk about Thailand, it's really good for visiting, having a vacation with your family. There are a lot of beautiful places, and especially girls. Thailand's girls, they are damn beautiful. If I talk about Vietnam, Vietnam is one of the countries, like whenever I heard about Vietnam, it comes in my head is like clothes, electronic devices. They're really good in invention, but I go to the market to buy a lot of things and where I see made in Vietnam. So yeah, whenever I heard about Vietnam, it comes on my head. And about Cambodia, the history, Angkor Wat, you know, some cities, Phnom Penh, Sihanoukville, some cities comes on my head. Good people, friendly people. That is the thing always come in my head first. So yeah, we are going to know about the information of these three countries. Let's check this video out. Before that, if you haven't subscribed our channel yet or you are new in our channel, please hit the subscribe button. Press the bell icon. Let us know in which video you want us to react on in the next reaction video. If you want to send me a link or something to watch with me, you can send in Facebook or Instagram. The link is in the description box. So let's check it out. Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia.
Thailand, Vietnam,
Wow.
Cambodia.
Angkor
The
Wat.
holy grail of backpacking. These three amazing countries are usually the stepping stones for those seeking adventure travel. All three are fun, cheap, and as crazy as each other. They offer everything from street food
I think
to
they are
epic
so similar
parties
in many
and
ways.
fascinating culture.
Travel Bible. Thailand or Vietnam or Cambodia. What city is this? Let me know. Damn, this is definitely Vietnam, I think. Because one of my friends, he sent me a lot of photos
So
from
let's
Vietnam.
start off by looking at their geographical
I saw a lot of
locations on
mountains.
Earth. So these three nations are of course all located in Southeast Asia and are neighbours to one another. These three countries are usually visited by backpackers who are doing what's known as the Golden Circle, a route which takes you pretty much in one big circle across these three.
Yeah, these are the so touristic
The capital
countries.
cities are Bangkok, Hanoi and Phnom Penh. All
Phnom
busy,
Penh?
crazy but magnificent cities. So now let's take a look at the demographics of these three nations.
Okay.
Starting off with their populations. So let's start off with the lowest out of the three, which is
Cambodia.
with roughly 16.7 million people, which makes them the 71st most populated country in the world. Ever so slightly
After
behind
Senegal.
Senegal and just above Chad. However, it must be noted that Senegal and Chad's population growth percentage is much higher than Cambodia.
Of course, they are
Next,
from
we have Thailand,
Africa.
with a very respectable 69.8 million, making them the 20th most populous nation in the world.
They are so
putting them
populated.
just above the UK and quite a bit behind Germany.
Germany.
And finally, the most populated out of the three, we have Vietnam. At an impressive 97.3 million.
Too much population, I heard.
The 15th most populated
Just
country
like
on
Bangladesh.
Earth, just above the DR Congo and just behind Egypt. Now of course, a high or low population isn't always a good or a bad thing. So instead, we'll now take a look
Yeah,
at
it's
their
not a bad thing,
population
it's not a good
densities.
thing. Depends.
For me, the lower here is the winner. So to no surprise, Vietnam is easily the most densely populated out of the three, with roughly 286 people per kilometre squared. After visiting Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi, I knew this would be coming.
I know
And
about
again,
Ho
to
Chi
no
Minh, but
surprise,
Hanoi no.
Cambodia is the least densely populated out of the three, with just 86 people per kilometre squared. And then sitting nicely in between, we have Thailand, with 135 people per kilometre squared. With Thailand being the biggest country out of the three, this was definitely
it's
expected.
definitely, yeah.
Alright, cool. Let's now take a look at the average age of the population for these three nations. This one actually took me by surprise. So we'll start off with the oldest out of the three, which is
Oh.
Thailand with an average age of 37. Then we have Vietnam at 29.9, and then finally Cambodia with a very
24.9.
young average age of just 24.9. A lower average age can definitely be a good thing. There's
Yeah.
more chance of growth with a younger population and less sick old people to care for. Cool, so let's now
true.
move on to the geography of these three crazy countries. Starting off with their total surface area. By looking at Google Earth, this one is quite obvious. So Thailand is the largest out of the three, with around 513,000 squared kilometers. And then we have Cambodia with roughly 181,000.
So
and then sitting satisfying
Thailand
in
is like
between,
4
we have
times
Vietnam
bigger than
with roughly 331,000.
Vietnam,
square
also 2 times times bigger
Now,
than
these three countries are
Cambodia.
quite oddly shaped. Thailand is wide in the north, but then becomes extremely narrow when you travel south of Bangkok. Cambodia is essentially a small circle, and then Vietnam is a long coastal
Like Chile.
country. Okay, next let's take a look at what percentage of these three countries are covered by forests. Forests have a key role in removing pollutants and cleansing the air, and are habitats for incredible animals such as elephants. So Cambodia has the most, with around 56% of the nation being covered in forest area. Thailand has the least with 37%. And then sitting nicely in between, we have Vietnam with around 45%. And finally, for geography, let's take a look at how much coastline these three countries have. This is a statistic where all three of these countries are really lacking. So with an absolute minuscule 443 kilometers, we have Cambodia. Only the south of the country is exposed to the Gulf of Thailand. Next, we have Thailand with roughly 3,200 kilometers. And then finally, Vietnam with just slightly more at 3,400 kilometers. South of Bangkok, Thailand is actually really narrow, and only the east of the country is exposed to the coastline. On the west, it's actually Myanmar. Alright, let's now move on to some statistics and facts about their economies. Starting off with their GDP, the gross domestic product. This reflects the value and productivity of
First one is gonna be, I think, Vietnam.
The market value of all the final goods and services.
Maybe Thailand, maybe Cambodia.
So starting off with the lowest out of the three, as expected, we have Cambodia. With a small population, small land size and waterways, it's no surprise that their GDP comes in at only $26 billion US. Next, we have Vietnam with roughly 340 billion, putting them at 37th
Vietnam is winning
in the world.
I think Thailand is
the
more.
highest out of the three. Thailand with roughly half
Depends on the size,
making them the
population,
25th richest country in the world.
And of course, it's a rich country, Thailand.
Let's now look at the GDP per capita. So this is calculated by dividing the total GDP by the population of the country. So Cambodia, of course, has the least with roughly $4,300 US per person, followed by Vietnam with roughly 8,000, and then Thailand with around $20,500 per
Vietnam and Thailand is
winning this part. Let's finish off on a high note for Cambodia. So out of the three, Cambodia actually has the highest GDP growth rate at 6.9%. Then just ever so slightly behind, we have Vietnam with 6.8%, which is likely due to the boom in tourism.
Here, Cambodia and Thailand is kind of
similar.
Finally,
Thailand lagging behind slightly with just under 4%. So next, let's take a look at the quality of living for these three countries, starting off with the obesity rate. So with roughly 10% of their adult population being classed as obese, Thailand still is a lot lower than westernized countries such as the UK, the US and Australia. Then we have Cambodia with 3.9%, and then finally Vietnam with just 2.1% of their adult population being classed as obese, which actually ranks them as the #1 country in the world. So kudos to Vietnam. Let's now take a look at the percentage of their populations that are classed as being under the poverty line. So Thailand takes the win here with just 7.2%. Followed just behind by
Cambodia
Vietnam with 8%,
biggest.
and then Cambodia with a much higher 16%. Hopefully with the year-on-year growth of Cambodia's GDP, alongside them having a youthful nation, they can decrease this number over time.
True.
And finally, to finish off with quality of living, let's now take a look at how many hospital beds and physicians there are per 1,000 people in each of these three countries. So to no surprise, Cambodia has by far the lowest, with 0.8 and 0.17 respectively. Then we have
so I think Cambodia need in this part,
0.81,
because in this part.
And finally, taking the win, we've got Vietnam with 2.6 and 0.82. So a close one between Thailand and Vietnam, but Vietnam just pips them for the win here. And now to end the video, let's compare their top 3 things to do in each country according to TripAdvisor. Now this one is completely subjective and depends on what your interests are. So if you disagree with us, then let us know why in the comment section below. So starting off with Thailand, we have the Wat Phra Chetapon. One of the oldest and largest temples in Bangkok features the famous reclining Buddha, which is the largest in Thailand.
I think 3 of these countries are Buddhist, if I'm not wrong.
Elephant Rescue Park, which is located in Chiang Mai, and their primary objective here is to rescue poor elephants from the circus, hard work, or who have been mistreated, providing a safe and secure living environment. And then number 3, the Sanctuary of Truth. The Sanctuary of Truth is a gigantic wooden construction. The top point of the building is about 105 meters tall. So next, let's look at Vietnam. So number 1 is the Cu Chi tunnels. The tunnels of Cu Chi are an immense network of connecting tunnels located in Ho Chi Minh City, and are part of a much larger network of tunnels that underlie much of the country. Number 2, the Old Quarters. The Old Quarter is a name commonly given to the historical civic urban core of Hanoi. And then finally, number 3, the Marble Mountains. The Marble Mountains are a cluster of 5 hills made from limestone and marble in Da Nang. It's also a well-known pilgrimage site with peaks, caves, tunnels and temples, all just waiting to be discovered. Named after the elements metal, wood, water, fire and earth. And finally, let's take a look at Cambodia.
First one is Angkor Wat.
This one was pretty obvious. Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat is a temple complex in Cambodia and the largest religious monument in the world by land area, with its site measuring an incredible 162 hectares. Number 2, the Tuel Sleng Genocide Museum. And finally, number 3, Otres Beach. So personally speaking, I think Thailand's top 3 attractions, according to travelers on TripAdvisor, take the win here. What do you think? Let us know below. So now it's your turn. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, in a sense, yes, but I think there are a lot more things in Thailand that you can explore, you can visit. Like, it's definitely not. Like, for example, the Buddhist temple, what he said, maybe it's one of the good place for the people who go from abroad who are Buddhist, but another person who is from another religion, I don't think that they are going to find it fascinating or interesting. So yeah, there are a lot more places in Vietnam, Cambodia and Thailand as well. I think a lot more places that people would love to explore, not really the places they have shown. In a lot of part in this video is like, you cannot really compare, you cannot really talk about it, because all of these countries, they have different good sides. They have difference of length of the country, difference of area of the country, difference population. So it's difficult to, but I think, as I was saying, that first of all, what come in my head whenever I heard about Thailand is like rich life, girls, beaches means I'm saying like sea, beaches, oceans, that beach, Pattaya, Bangkok, food. These are the things comes on my head. When I heard about Vietnam, in my head always just popping up mountains, inventions, a lot of motorcycles, like Chinese people, like face like Chinese people. These are the things I'm just saying, honestly, what I feel. And about Cambodia, it's like, culture, dance, I think, music, and like history, and black history actually, Khmer Rouge. You know what I'm talking about if you're from Cambodia. So yeah, all of these countries, they have really versatile things in their own way. And yeah, rich, poor, depends on the place, depends on the country, depends on how much they are growing very fast. So in this country, there is nothing that somebody's winning, somebody's losing. It's all about knowing about the information. You have seen everything. Thank you so much for suggesting. I would really love to visit all of these countries, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia. I think these are very peaceful countries and beautiful countries. I would definitely like to visit these countries. Let me know which country did you like here, and where are you from? Let me know in comment down below. And what do you think the touristic attraction, the way he was saying, like if you have more places that are really better than here that he was showing, let me know in comment down below. Yeah, so thank you so much guys. See you guys in the next reaction video. Bye bye.